Hi guys, it's Victoria and welcome back to my channel Overweight and Outdoors. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about snow hiking because it's snowing out. So it's a little bit too cold to do this video outside, so here we are. So I wanted to talk a little bit about gear essentials for hiking in the winter. A lot of people think that once winter comes, that hiking season is over, and that's not necessarily the case. Hiking in the snow takes a little bit more time, preparation, and forethought before you end up hiking. So let's get right into it. So for clothing accessories, it's still going to be the same layering system that we talked about previously, and I'll link that video up above. I tend to layer way more than I usually do. Same building structure with, a moisture wicking t-shirt with either another long sleeve moisture wicking layer, usually my fleece jacket that I got at REI, as well as my puffy down jacket, also at REI. For my pant layers, what I end up usually doing is wearing a pair of smart wool base layers underneath either one of my hiking pants. I usually have a pair of moisture wicking active jogger pants that I got at Costco, and those are usually my go-to hiking pants. If it is too cold for those, I do have a pair of fleece lined sweatpants that are amazingly warm. So that mixed with either the active pants or my base layers will keep me nice and warm. The key to clothing selection in winter hiking is that you want to be warm enough to keep your core warm, but you don't want to get overheated so that you sweat. That can be kind of a dangerous place. Some of the things to bring with you are a hat or something to cover your ears and your head, gloves, and a buff. I love this hat. It is by the North Face. It's wool and it's very, very warm. I don't ever have any issues with it. Another option is a buff. So these are kind of a hiking essential simply because they're super versatile. I will usually wear it around my neck so that I can pull it up above my nose. I'm not sure about you guys, but when the inside of my nose gets really cold, it hurts so much. So I keep this around my neck, one, to keep my neck warm, and two, just if it's super windy, I can just pull this up and cover my nose. Another essentials are a pair of gloves. So these are they're a fleece material. They're pretty warm, but they're not windproof, and that's the biggest downside. If it's super cold or if it's windy, these are not going to do much. These are my down gloves, and they're very, very warm, and I still have the dexterity with them, which is great. I will usually keep these in my pack, even if I'm wearing these. Just in case these get wet, I have a backup. And if my fingers get cold with this and I lose the dexterity, I can go to these. Another essential is hand warmers. These are a game changer. I used to snuff these off a little bit, I don't need them. And then someone gave me a pair one day and I was using them and I'm like, oh. So it's essentially what you do is you open it up and you kind of like the break ice packs that you use, and you just shake it and let it air out. These are activated by air. So as soon as you open them, give them about 5 minutes and they'll get super warm. Keep a couple pairs in your pack, and then if you end up needing them, stick them in your pocket so you can just stick your hands in your pocket and they'll get nice and toasty warm. One of the biggest things that you need to consider when you are going hiking in the snow is traction. Hiking boots and hiking shoes tend to have some tread on the bottom of them that are built for traction, but in the snow they're not as great. So I would highly recommend a pair of micro spikes, something like this. They do have actual spikes on them, so you can really grip and grab onto the snow and ice. I got these off of Amazon for I think $25-$30. They do make other types of traction things for your shoes. One of them are called Yak Tracks. It's this kind of silicone material, but it's webbed the same way and it's covered in a coil. I personally don't like those because they can get clogged with snow pretty quickly and then they lose their traction. There's also another pair, similar design to this, but instead of the actual spikes on the bottom, it's little pieces of metal sticking out, and I personally don't think that the spikes on them are big enough to grab anything. But these are pretty simple to put onto your shoe. It will say which end is the back. So all you basically do is you take your hiking boot and you put this up into your toe. over your toe so that this part up here is right up front like that. Then you take the back, there's usually a little finger hold thing, and you just pull and put them on like that. So you see on the bottom, and you have nice grips that you can really crunch into the snow and the ice. One thing that I have noticed about this particular brand of micro spikes is if the snow is wet, these will kind of stick into them, and as you pull your foot up, it will come down. And the chains will get a little bit loose, and over time, they'll just be hanging. I tend to listen for the jangle when I walk, and if I hear it, I just stop, pull this back, and pull them back up. There you go. Another option too is snowshoes. Snowshoes will increase the surface area of your foot, so therefore you won't sink into the snow as much. They do also have traction devices like micro spikes on the bottom of them, so when you're walking you can crunch into the snow. Another thing is trekking poles. They will help give you balance and another point of contact for when you're walking. I got these with a set of my snowshoes from Costco. I also have another pair of carbon fiber cork grip from Costco as well. If you can't afford a big name brand trekking pole like Black Diamond, REI, Lakey, or what have you, Costco does sell carbon fiber cork grip trekking poles for about $25. And in my experience, I've had them for a year and a half or so, and they've been fantastic. One thing to remember with the trekking pole is these straps are to help distribute your weight onto the pole itself. So proper holding of your trekking pole is you want to make sure that you go up through it like this and down on the pole like this. You don't want to have your trekking pole like this with your strap kind of over your hand, because if you fall and you go and this gets stuck somewhere, you can dislocate your thumb. So going up and down like this, that way you have the pressure onto your strap, and if you fall, your hand is free. So one other thing that I wanted to talk to you about is post holing. It's bound to happen. It's happened to all of us, and for those of you who don't know what post holing is, it's when your foot breaks through the snow and you kind of get swallowed up by it up to a certain point. On a hike a few years ago, I was walking down the trail and I post holed up to my hip, and it made you realize how deep the snow actually was, and at that point I didn't know how to get out of it, so I'm just sitting on the ground being like, So oftentimes you're only going to post hole up into your ankle, mid-calf, so then you can just step out. But if it's any higher than that, like your knee and above, I would recommend sitting back and pulling your leg out and then standing out. That way you won't get caught anymore. There's no pressure on your leg to inhibit you pulling it out of the snow. And that's all I have for you. If you like this video, if you got anything out of it, like and leave a comment down below. Subscribe if you aren't already, and I will see you guys next time. Happy trails!